Welcome to the first of, hopefully, many subscriber episodes of Self-Care-ish. I'm putting these Married at First Sight recaps behind a paywall because a girl is gonna eat, but also because I know not everyone comes to Self-Care-ish for random pontification about trashy but amazing reality TV from Australia. I get it. So these will all be nestled in their own special MAFS bunker. I will still be doing regular episodes, and the Lord knows how I'm going to get it all done. It's going to be a Herculean. It's going to be a Herculean effort, but I am nothing if not stubborn. Welcome to season 3 of Self-Care-ish, a show about being selfish with care. I'm Megan, and each week we riff on different ways to re-nourish yourself after a divorce, or if you're on a dating or self-dating journey. Either way, I'm so happy we found each other. Let's get into it. Yes, there is a reason I keep messing up the intro, and it is because I am coming to you and doing this first ep off approximately 3 hours sleep. I was in Fiji last week. The plan was to record this week's normal episode live from the resort, but the resort was actually terrible and the Wi-Fi was crappy, and honestly the whole holiday was just this comedy of errors. And at one point my son actually got nipped by a sea snake, you know, the stripy black and white one, the venomous kind. We were just really lucky that it didn't chomp down, it just kind of nipped. So actually that perfectly sums up the whole week, which crescendoed in our flight home getting cancelled due to the cyclone in Queensland. So it was almost 2 nights beneath the fluorescent beams of our airport hotel. Not fun. But there are worse things happening in the world right now, as you know and I know. So gratitude just for the character building experience, I guess. And speaking of character building experiences, I also have a vested interest in doing this deep dive into this season of MAFS because I was invited to be on it. In fact, I got about 3 interviews deep and I recorded my little audition tape. I was really into it, and I got to the point where I said to the casting producer, hey, am I going to be one of the couples you mismatch, or are you going to put me with someone genuine? And she said, of course, no, we're definitely going to find you love, which you and I, we all know is producer chat for, no, we're definitely going to mismatch you. Don't come in here looking for love, Missy. So this is really about watching the potential car crash of what would have been me if I had gone through with this season. So thank God my son's dad said no, because honestly, I think he saved me from myself, because when I have no sleep, I turn into an extremely cunty person. And I actually haven't had any sleep, so this is perfect. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this episode 1 of the 11th season of MAFS, like an influencer pondering the profound mysteries of the universe while stuck in a revolving door. Yeah, I did practice saying that a few times. P.S. Just a short reminder to anyone who is currently going through a divorce or a breakup. I am excited to tell you that I've opened my first program, Dynamic Detachment. We're going to run it mid this year, and you can find out all about it at selfcare-ish, as in selfcare-ish.com.au/dynamic detachment. It's going to be 6 weeks of guest speakers and one-on-ones to help you make your next chapter your best yet. And you'll be put into a community of people who are going through the exact same thing you are. So sign up for the waitlist, and I can't wait to tell you more about it.
Season 11, 2024. Things are starting to look a little bit different.
In tonight, the first episode of season 11 of Married at First Sight, we are introduced to 2 couples. It's a battle royale of love, and it's hard to imagine that after 11 seasons, we still have people putting their hands up to have their flaws surgically examined by the, as you know, always fair and never at all judgmental Australian public. But here we are. Of course, we love a dramatic soundtrack in Australia, and especially on MAFS, especially when they introduce the judges, John, Mel, and Alessandra. My favorite part of MAFS is honestly when they try to say that they have spent hours poring over the profiles of the contestants. Can we call them contestants? They're more like test subjects, really, or like romantic guinea pigs. When, in actuality, we all know that there's actually a team of casting producers trawling Instagram to find influencers unhinged enough to apply. I know this because that was me on the other end of one of those conversations. But anyway, let's get started. Tonight, the unintentional comedy kicks off pretty quickly with Richard, a 62-year-old whose friends are asking why he's stooping so low into the bucket of reality television. Like, he says this to expert Alessandra's face, and credit to her, she did not flinch. She just smiled and nodded and was like, yes, you are correct. And to be honest, I think we're all kind of asking him the same question, but he says he's committed and he's into it. He walks into the Bucks night. This is when all the guys get together, and he meets Tim. So Tim enters the chat. Tim is not 62. Tim is more like 26. So these two clearly have a lot to chat about. Meanwhile, on the girls' side, we meet Natalie, and she is a self-confessed anti-Bondi babe. She actually says quite openly she feels pretty unpretty. She feels like her teeth are too big. She says, I'm short and I'm pale, and I kind of love her for being so honest. So thank you, MAFS, for putting in someone who is just really genuine and real. And you know that can only mean one thing. She is going to get crushed, or they're going to, I don't know, edit her so she soars like an eagle and rises like a phoenix. I really, truly hope it's the latter. But this is MAFS we're talking about. After Natalie comes in, Tori enters the room, and she is already set up to be a bit of a villain. All Tori wants is a European SUV and 4 kids to fill every seat. She's mean. I don't really like her. She calls Natalie a girly girl behind her back in a bit of a acerbic tone. So this is going to be great TV. Standard MAFS fare right here. On the guy's side, we then meet Jaden. He's a Muay Thai kickboxer with a ponytail as big as his biceps. But he's a softie though, guys. He loves snuggles and back tickles after a fight, and you kind of can't help but like him. And he's got a philosophical side, and he says quite openly he's ready to go against type. Don't be tempting MAFS like that, Jaden. You know, don't do it, but you know they're gonna do it. Back on the girls' side, Lucinda Light enters. She's the token kooky one who describes herself as a sister, a daughter, a creatrix, and she's also a wedding celebrant, of course. My immediate thought is I will never get married if it means I never have to have her as a celebrant at my wedding, and I don't want to be me. I'm sure she's amazing in the edits, just brutal, but they cut to her one-on-one with expert John Aiken, and she unrolls this scroll of a list of things that she wants in a partner. And ultimately, she just wants someone who's got a sense of humor and wants to laugh at the cosmic joke of life. I am laughing at the cosmic joke of MAFS right now. It is fabulous TV. Doesn't get any better than this, guys. Then we get to Ellie. She's next. She is wearing the color of transcendence, according to Lucinda, and it's a purple dress. They skip over her so much, so clearly the producers aren't obsessed, and maybe she doesn't feature too much in this season. But Lucinda is goals. Well done, producers. You have absolutely slayed it. Then we cut to Lauren. Lauren loves a red flag and cutout dresses, and she rocks both pretty confidently. So Lauren and Andrea, who's the other older MAFS contestant this year, these two are already at odds. But it's hard to explain, but it's this weird moment, and they play the goofy fun music when it happens. So yeah, it's hard to explain. But anyway, so Andrea goes to Lauren, don't steal her man, because Lauren thinks she might be partnered with an older man. So this makes me think that this is definitely something that might happen this season. Can't wait for that. Then we meet Michael, and he is the American, and he is from Ohio, and he says he just wants a family and kids. In fact, he says it about 4 times, so I'm thinking he definitely wants to get married and have a family and kids. Expert John Aiken says he is delighted to have him on board, so this concerns me. Wait, no, it's a mic drop moment, because Michael, the American, is actually a bride. This is exciting. This is our first MAFS gay wedding. I love it. So mic drop Michael surprises the brides, and funnily enough, they all thought he was a stripper when he walked into the room. Classy. We're classy here in MAFS land. Meanwhile, a fresh guy has walked into the guy's side. I didn't catch his name, but he's wearing the tightest pants I've ever seen. I don't hate it. It is a decision and he's rocking it. So credit to him. Then we're introduced to Simon. Simon gets his own segment, and Simon has been married and is divorced. And he doesn't know what he wants. He's been burned. Oh, and he is gay. And I'm thinking, powers of deduction here, but he's going to be Michael's partner. Lots of nice, welcoming vibes from all the other guys in the group. So it's time for the experts to walk dramatically into the room.
Look at you. Very sharp, I gotta say.
And help the hopeful singles in their quest to find love.
It's around this moment that expert Alessandra pipes up and says true love is possible, and they've seen it more than a few times over the 11 seasons that they've had Married at First Sight. So out of 11 seasons and countless couples, a few times of success doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. But anyway, that's all the preamble stuff. We don't really care about that. All we care about is the wedding. We know that. Let's do it. Okay, first up is Sarah. She's 29. She lives in Sydney. She's a nutritionist. And I love her because she clearly watches the Sprinkle Sprinkle lady on TikTok. Like, she's a woman after my own heart. She hates paying for things on dates, but if a guy makes it awkward enough, she will. I've been there. And Sarah is healing from a toxic relationship with a cheating ex, holding on to hope that they'll change, but they never do. I think Sarah is meant to be the stand-in for the audience. There's a word for it. She is all of us. Expert Alessandra is counseling her. She's saying she hopes Sarah comes through the experiment, understanding that she's worth so much more than someone who doesn't want her. And part of me is lying here thinking, girl, Married at First Sight might not be the way to get to that point. But anyway, she is going to be matched with Tim. Tim is a 31-year-old from the Gold Coast. You kind of want to pigeonhole him, but he's actually a bit of a softie. He wants to open an orphanage. He has an Ethiopian sister. He's a surfer. He's lived in Bali. Tim also opens up that his ex cheated on him too. So maybe the experts and the producers have well matched these two people who are traumatized from their previous relationships. And then there's this awkward moment where all the experts are chatting and Alessandra says, well, she thinks their connection is going to be caliente. And expert Mel asks Alessandra what caliente means, and things definitely felt a little awkward. But don't worry, because then we cut to Cassandra's family. She's the other bride tonight, and I kind of just want a reality show of her family. They have personality in spades. Channel 9, let's start keeping up with the Cassandra's family season, because they're amazing. But Cass's story is actually really tragic. Her ex was killed in a motorbike accident, so this is truly heavy, and I really truly hope the judges give her someone worthy of her, which means they definitely won't. And oh no, here we go, they are going to put her with Tristan. Okay, Tristan is a guy with a serious case of nice guy-itis. He's an entertainment manager who loves his mum, and I'm just straight up not feeling this one. I think he's performing a lot. He says he's nervous, and I totally understand that, but he's just not confident. He did just admit that he used to be overweight as a child, so I think he's still wearing that internally. I feel for him. Actually, maybe he will end up being the dark horse of the season. I really hope so. Now it's the morning of the first two weddings. Wedding number 1, Sarah and Tim. Remember, Sarah from Bondi, Tim the surfer. Tim's best man has to have the most aggressive mullet I have ever seen. And I live on the Gold Coast, guys, so I think it's honestly threatening to upstage the bride. It's that charismatic, I suppose. Ben is promising to have a speech with physical comedy, which I think is code for it's gonna cause physical cringe from the lack of comedy. But Sarah's friend Lauren is playing the overprotective pal role tonight, and she mistakes Ben with the mullet for the groom, and she almost keels over with relief, and then she realizes he's not, and she yells out, "Oh, no offense, Ben." And I have a feeling that Ben with the mullet has had to deal with a lot of those moments. He took it in his stride, but there was a part of him that died just at that point. Everyone is relieved when Tim walks in. Tim is stoked, and Lauren, the best friend, is stoked. And I've never seen two more relieved people in my life. And this is going way too well. And then Tim starts speaking Spanish because they both lived in Colombia. And have the judges actually done a good job? We'll find out. But first, we switch back over to Cassandra and Tristan. Or maybe we should just call him Talkative Tristan, because Tristan is chatty, like really chatty. And I love you. I just want you to win, Tristan. Just relax. Anyway, Cassandra's dad, Modi, makes another appearance, ready to walk her down the aisle. And oh my God, this man is the hero of this season. He dresses like a king. He is so complimentary of his daughter. He is a widow. If Modi is not the next bachelor, I will be upset and I will be writing Channel 9 a letter. This man is going to be beloved. Then we're taken to the wedding. Tristan walks in and continues to keep talking, and I need him to stop. Everyone needs him to stop. Please stop talking, Tristan. This show is seriously just an exercise in handling secondhand cringe, I swear to God. Anyway, and just when you think it can't get any more cringe, he confuses one of the bridesmaids as his bride. Oh my God, I am dying right now. Like, I can't. So anyway, he has to backtrack and go, oh, sorry, wrong person. Anyway, luckily, Cass walks in and she is just as beautiful, if not more, than the bridesmaid, so we are safe for now. She's smiling widely, a little too widely if you ask me. There's a close-up of Modi, her dad. He's smiling. Everyone is smiling. Internally, Modi is screaming. I guess the question of the day is the chemistry in the room with us? Because we're not feeling it from these two. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes when I am watching Married at First Sight, I kind of pause it and practice how I would react if I was put in front of a groom I didn't gel with. And I don't know if I could pull it off. And I think this is probably why it's really a good thing that I'm not on this season. Anyway, back to Sarah and Tim, wedding 1. These two are making out for the wedding photos. They've got chemistry and I am really just kind of grossed out. But Sarah says she is in awe. So it doesn't really matter what I think. And, you know, this is love. And I live for the awkward chat at the bridal table footage. Kind of feels like kids in the playground at high school. They're just kind of sniffing each other out. And it's kind of sweet. They both find out that they each enjoy weighing their food before they eat it. This is modern love, people. What the fuck are we doing with our lives anyway? Sarah asks Tim about his last relationship. You know how you kind of go, so, you know, tell me about your ex and things like that. And then he just cuts straight to it. He says, well, she cheated. And okay, the sad music starts playing. So it's a bit of a bombshell. And then he drops that he was actually going to propose to his ex this year, which means in MAFS land that he only broke up with his ex 6 months ago. So 6 months ago, they broke up, and now he's on MAFS, and now he's married. And he actually kind of sounds like me when I broke up with my ex-husband, like just running into any relationship to defer feeling anything. And thank fucking God I didn't have a team of producers filming my healing journey, although I did actually kind of document it on a podcast, so there's that. Anyway, there's a scene where the producers asked him, so are you over your ex? And he replies, oh, definitely, absolutely, while shaking his head. So you and I, we all know what that means. All this is leading up to what the producers have been teasing for like weeks, the best man speech from hell. But first, back to Tristan and Cassandra. So Tristan is doing all the right things. He's asking Cassandra a lot of questions, but I think I've figured out Tristan's problem. He is lovely, but he's a puppy. He has got puppy dog energy with a side of real estate agent energy. I don't know, but Modi, her dad, it's time for him to get up for a speech. And I'm always up for a Modi moment, as you know. Even Modi has picked it though, and he has called the couple friends at first sight. And that was a bit awkward, but then he covers it up by talking about his wife who is deceased and how proud Cassandra's mother would have been. And he says, the best line I think I've ever heard a dad give in a wedding speech. And he says, the more I've known you, the more I've known your mother. It's actually really beautiful when he says it. I don't know if I've captured it right. Anyway, I love this man. Okay, cut back to Sarah and Tim. The moment we've all been waiting for, the best man speech from hell. The producers have been hyping this up, and the the ominous music has been cued. So Sarah is already crying because she's caught feelings for Tim and the trauma of her ex relationship is bubbling up, and now she's learned he broke up with his ex 6 months ago. Hopefully we can get it back on track. Here comes the best man. I can't watch, but I will watch and I will tell you what happens. So he says, I'm just going to play it for you.
I was not surprised when I heard Tim was partaking in this experiment, because Tim is a man of science. He's quite fond of experimentation. Experiment 551, romance at high speed. Is roadhead safe? I hope so. Experiment 552. Is it okay to get head in the ER since you crashed your car and you're here now anyway?
Oh my God. Okay, what is it? I don't know if it's just an Australian thing, but sometimes guys think that the best man speech is meant to be like a 21st speech. This happened at my wedding. I don't know why this is a thing. It drives me insane. So your wedding is not for best man embarrassing speeches. But anyway, he keeps going on and on about all the sexual exploits of the groom. And then he finishes up saying he has experimented also eating rancid 4-day-old chicken. So the silence after this speech was just deafening. And then he keeps going and he says, Tim is a wonderful human being. He radiates charisma. And Sarah, you can take comfort in the fact that, rancid or not, Tim will still eat you like the 4-day-old chicken that he ate. Anyway, oh my God, it's just terrible. Everyone is speechless. I'm speechless. Everyone in the wedding speechless. And thank God it is time for the first dance. And actually, the most fun of the wedding sort of section is just listening to Sarah's friends talk about how much of a red flag Tim is. This whole thing is just giving me war flashbacks to my own wedding and the best man speeches. So anyway, palate cleanser time. Cassandra and talkative Tristan are off to McLaren Vale Winery in South Australia, but beforehand, he surprises her with a packet of Tim Tams and some flowers for her 30th birthday. Nice. Meanwhile, Sarah and Tim are in Fiji, so I'm having flashbacks definitely now. And the hotel has spelled Sarah and Tim's name out in rocks at the bottom of the pool, and I just feel like this bodes so well for their relationship in general. And then it's romantic dinner time. These two seem to be softening up. Tim gave Sarah his jacket when she was cold. They speak some Spanish to each other. And then they do a shot of tequila because Tim says Sarah needs to relax more. And so Sarah is pissed at that. And I feel like I have whiplash right now. You know what it is? I feel like Sarah very much wants to have a fight with Tim. You know those moments when there's issues in the relationship, but you don't fight about the issue, so you pick a fight about something else? This is that. So they start fighting at the table. It's absolute TV gold. And that's the end of the episode. Modern love. Okay, that's first episode down. We've got 2 more episodes this week. I've got to cut this together, upload it, try and get some sleep. I'm running on fumes right now, guys. So thank you for tuning in. And if you've subscribed, extra thank you. And I will speak to you again shortly. Bye.
Thank you.